Didn't meet the total, yeah. Total.
I'll paraphrase it down a little bit. Way better than where we were, Mike.
Yeah, right.
Of course, I don't know how many phone calls it took for us.
Walk into the middle of the craziness.
I don't know why this thing takes so many tries. Should be good. Good? Yep.
Okay. At 4 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Okay, Mark Dennis, Nate Tormellan,
Here.
JJ Reinhardt,
Here.
Tim Harden,
Here.
Bonnie Good here, and John Kelly.
Okay. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the prior meeting?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have a public hearing of any kind? Don't think so. Any old business?
I would probably do Guardian Bikes under old business because
Okay.
it's a report.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now, Jim.
The old business include Main Street.
Let's do it after the
Okay.
report.
In June of 2023, Seymour RDC granted Guardian Bikes a $100,000 Eclipse loan, and it was based on Guardian Bikes promising to hire 75 Jackson County residents at various wage levels ranging from $150,000 to $40,000. Each wage was given a value for the Eclipse loan. I believe everyone on the board now was on the RDC board at that time. The loan was written to be forgiven over a 4-year period if Guardian attained its hiring goals, and that forgiveness was 25% a year, or $25,000. Last year, the RDC forgave Guardian the first 25% because it had met all its targets. And today, Lucas Hoagland is here representing the company to answer any questions you may have, and they are providing updated information, employment information for your consideration, which I have given everyone a copy. You'll see that the company on the far left, was a projection, and then in the middle is what they have actually done, and you'll see that they had projected one employee at $150,000. They currently have 2 over $200,000, both residing in Jackson County. They have 3 employees at $100,000, and they have 15 at over $120,000, including 3 in Jackson County. 9 employees at $50,000. They have 40, including 14 residing in Jackson County. 30 employees at $40,000, and they have 60, including 36 residing in Jackson County. And then additionally to those, but really just to kind of demonstrate where they are from an employment of over 200 people, they have 110 under 40,000, with 100 of them residing in Jackson County. So I believe that they have hit their projected targets. And again, Lucas is here if you have any questions, but would ask that RDC consider forgiveness of the second 25% or $25,000 of the Eclipse loan.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
JJ's got the motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Jim, new business, it looks like you're up next with the
standing here.
tax part.
I'll just keep going. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation has recently approved the City of Seymour's recertification application for our certified tech park. and thought I'd just give you a very brief history about the Certified Tech Park. That designation for Seymour was the result of Cummins Hedgehog Project back in 2010, 2011, and 2012. At the time when the state designated a certified tech park, communities could recapture up to $5 million from taxes paid within the boundaries of the certified tech park. And since we drew the boundaries to include the Cummins campus, since that's what the project was all about anyway, we hit $5 million in a very short period of time, actually by 2017. And those taxes are primarily state income tax withholdings of new people. It's created sort of like a TIF where you have a baseline of the number of employees they have and any new employees. Those taxes for state income tax are used to fund the Certified Tech Park. So when we applied for recertification in 2016, we expanded the boundaries of the Certified Tech Park to include the Jackson County Learning Center, and that turned out to be pretty important because that allowed monies to be spent inside that. And as you all know, having funded the Vincennes project of a couple years ago, that was because it was at the Jackson County Learning Center and within the boundaries of the Certified Tech Park. Also, in 2016, the state began talking and ultimately changed and now allows additional money over the $5 million to be captured by the cities with Certified Tech Park. So we recertified again in 2020, and we recertified again last year, and each time the state changes and tweaks things, and one of the things that they're now asking for is a contract that is to be signed with the state and the fiscal agent of the Certified Tech Park, which is the Redevelopment Commission. So I've given Chris a copy of the contract for her review, and am coming to you tonight or this afternoon to ask for your approval of that so that it can be signed. We can get it returned to the state. Once we get it returned, then we have to file our annual report no later than April 15th of this year, showing what activities are being done with those funds within the Certified Tech Park. And what certainly we'll tell them is that you all have been funding the Jackson County Education Coalition. You've been funding the Vincennes maintenance training, which you're going to hear from Dan in a few minutes on that as well. But that is our request to you this evening. And I also want to at least introduce to you the fact that we will be coming back to you in February with a formal request to use some of these Certified Tech Park funds for support of expansion of the Vincennes program. Vincennes is currently doing maintenance training for electrical and mechanical, beginning and intermediate. So far in year one, they have issued over 100 certificates, and they want to expand to offer advanced training. And so we're again applying for a READY grant, and we're going to be asking RDC next month to help support that from a local standpoint for READY 2.0. So that's just kind of an introduction on that, but the main request is for the approval of that contract. Be more than happy to answer any questions.
You said, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You said they increased the amount over the 5 million. What was that increased to?
$250,000 a year.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We received $250.
Yeah, over the past, I mean, it kind of timing of receipt was a little bit off, but $500,000 last year, so $250 for the past 2 years.
Yeah. And
Where
again,
are those
We're at the
expended?
full cap, so we plan to receive $250 each year.
again, provided we file the reports
Yep.
and provided Cummins continues to operate, within the park, because that literally is where the money has been generated from.
What account are those funds accounted for under?
That tech park fund,
It's on
page 14 of 17 on the financial plan.
Okay, thank you.
And Jim, do you have a number that Ben Sinn's project?
It won't be over 250.
Okay.
Between now, we are now in the process, now that we're kind of rolling on this, I've got meetings set up the next couple of weeks with industry, because we're going to do it just like we did the last time. We're asking for money from Ready, we're asking money from RDC, and we're asking money from our local industry. And so how that comes in will determine, our overall project is, I hate to use the word only, but it's, our project is gonna be at about $500,000. So it's, I think the first go around, I think the Ready ask was, we were like $1.8 million, I think, to get all the equipment and to get staff and to get things. This would be just for equipment for the advanced classes, as well as a possible, expansion of the learning center for some storage for this equipment. But we'll button that down before we make our formal request next month.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Jim?
Not for Jim.
Make a motion to,
Oh, I'll make a motion.
okay. Motion to approve the tech park.
Yes.
Second. You got a second?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I was just
Any
wondering, Chris, have you already had a chance to look at the?
I have.
Okay with
And
contract.
everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Dan?
Everybody have a copy of the aerials I sent out last week? Thank you, good afternoon, thanks for letting us come in. Jackie Hill and I are here today to share with you folks information about the Jackson County Education Coalition 2024 grant that you folks approved last year. It helps fund the work out at the Jackson County Learning Center, as well as what the Education Coalition contracts with Jackie's office there at the Workforce Partnership at JCIDC. And then also today, just, requesting payment of the next round of what we hope's the next round of a grant for $280,000 approved earlier by the commission. We remain excited by the one of the newest happenings out at the Learning Center. That, of course, is what Jim's already touched on in terms of the Vincennes University maintenance training program through Ready 1. And then we're also looking at making a proposal to expand that through Ready 2. Jackie's report in here that we shared with you shows more than 100 local incumbent workers have been through and earned certificates through that Vincennes program since opening in November 23. That sound right? But we appreciate the role that the Redevelopment Commission has played in that and other work out at the Learning Center and with Workforce Partnership. We saw an uptick in space rental income last year, partly as a result of Vincennes coming to the community. They offered, in addition to these maintenance training programs, they also came in and offered phlebotomy and a healthcare training class. I always butcher that name. But those were offered separately out at the Learning Center and brought in more space use income. which, you know, we need out there to keep everything running. Coalition continues to serve as the state contact on the On My Way pre-K program. Material I sent you guys Friday has an error in it. Instead of 33 kids enrolled this year, it's actually 53. I don't know if I hit the wrong key or remembered that wrong when I typed that up, but I noticed that this morning that I had the wrong number in it. You know, workforce partnership is involved, as you'll see in Jackie's report, a number of activities, including Maverick Challenge, the VEX Robotics project-based learning, Al Manufacturing. The list kind of goes on with Jackie's report. Just as a reminder, the Educational Coalition is governed by a 19-member board of directors. I'm one of those members. I won't bore you and read that list of the other 18. Be happy to answer any questions that you folks might have about how your grant dollars through the Educational Coalition have been invested in the last year, you know, and invested in the community work.
I'm excited to see that they want to expand and add other classes and that they're getting good response to want to be in our community. I know there's some reference here to robotics field, and I didn't know if there's been any discussion with them about possibly doing some robotic repair classes or training in that area.
Jackie,
Because I know that's a field that's being discussed a lot, the need to actually work on.
We work real closely with the high schools and aligning, right now with some of the Ready One funds out at the Ag Building, there's a new machining program going in. And so what we try and do is align our next step after that along with a pathway in automation and robotics is one of them. And the high school actually just did the Department of Ed continually changing their requirements. And so one of the pathways that was part of the Department of Ed was automation and robotics. And using the industry's input to that is kind of the pathway that the high school is looking at. So I think expansion of all of that, we now have the robotics programs in all of our elementary, middle. Now it's expanded into the high school. We already have several teams that have already qualified for the state. It's not just kids going in and playing, they're competing, and they're doing very well. So in answer to your question, it's not there yet, but I think it will be. I think it's just all the maintenance program was a huge step forward.
Tim, you know, the industry is why the Vincent's maintenance program is what it is, because that's what they told Jim and Jackie.
It's also got the attention of some of our other post-secondary institutions that have kind of sat back, offered here and there, but seeing the success of the VU program, we just had an HR meeting the end of last year, and we had a room full of post-secondary there. So it's gotten their attention to maybe step up and offer some things too. So I think it's only gonna expand from here. So long answer to your question, but it doesn't happen overnight. So
Sure.
And I just wanted to mention really quick, I really appreciate seeing all the partnerships that you've got going here, and then as how much y'all are reaching out to a very diverse group, on the different projects. I think it's good use of funds.
we're excited this year too, and this is a big testament to Zach, is we now have the Sandy Creek Christian Academy involved in it, so we can truly say that we're countywide. So we have robotics programs in all of our parochial schools. We now have a homeschool team. 4-H just started a team for those schools are having to turn kids down because it's such a And so 4-H is another option for some of those kids that can't get into a school program to have Boys and Girls Club have programs. So it's definitely, it's just it's a cool program. The kids are having fun, but they're learning. So.
Anything else for Dan? Okay.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Sure, Matt or Cole, that's gonna.
Well, as I said, you guys let me get out most of my points earlier. So really not too much to cover beyond what I've already talked about unless you guys want to discuss some of it or have any additional follow-up questions based on our conversation in regards to the financial plan. Really just claims for this month. We did shift one of those claims, that Jackson County Education Coalition contribution to the Tech Park Fund. So you'll see that reflected in that fund page, the one I just referenced a minute ago. I believe it was page 14, yes. Other than that, like I said, did a lot of work to kind of revamp those projections and kind of what to expect as far as the O'Brien Street cost. Looked into a lot of those bond funds to see what we could use those for. So definitely got some good answers there. I think you'd all agree that the cash balance looks a lot better than it did last month. So any questions, happy to answer. Other than that, that's all I've got for you today.
Anybody have any questions?
On the right-of-way acquisitions, I know there's several on this. Do you know where that's at as far as how many more there are left to do, or?
On O'Brien Street?
Yes.
And what, are you looking at a page in our financial plan or a different document?
You know, looking at
The claims?
Okay, I can get you a detailed answer for that. I created a large spreadsheet that is in our Excel document right behind this financial plan page. It has that all broken down as far as how much right of way is left, how much the construction deposit is. So I have those details and I can send those to you guys.
Any other questions for Matt? Okay, thank you.
More to come.
Okay, all right, claims. Everybody have a chance to review the claims docket for January? I get a motion to approve.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Second, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, final piece of business under miscellaneous. I wanted to wait until we went through the Reedy Financial Group, but Main Street's been here the last 2 months to request a grant of $350,000. I think we've got enough information now to vote on that. So does anybody have anything they want to say or have any questions for Jason before Jason's here representing Main Street. So if not, can we get a motion to approve that grant at $350,000?
I'll make the motion.
Just clarifying, if we doing the motion for the 350, or is the 200 approved and we have to?
No, we haven't. 200 is in the
in the budget,
because it was in there last year, but we haven't approved the 200 yet, so it's 350 total. 200, which is already included in the budget, and then the extra 150 would be added into the.
Okay, I'll second.
Yeah. Okay. Second. Okay. Any other discussion or questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Motion carries. Is there any other business, Jim?
Yeah. You all probably been looking at that, wondering why that got there.
Thank you.
I'm here again just to introduce this. Jonathan Isaacs, Independent Land Survey, is here as well as is, I guess Jackie and Dan Davis and Mayor Matt as members of Jackson County's Ready, team. We will again be coming back next month with a formal request, as we're wrapping up our Ready 2.0 request to the state. One of our projects is infrastructure out at the East Side Industrial Park. And what you're looking at is what is on this map, which basically would create a new road from Hartzell Drive east to a point, I don't know how many feet that is, but, and then stop at this point. So it would be a new roadway and some infrastructure which would provide access for the Vital Farms project. It also will open up additional property here along Interstate 65 at the East Side Park. That would be phase 1 of the project. Phase 2 of the project, if you've been out on Hartzell, up by United Pipe and Tube, there's a real severe S-curve up there, and for many, many years, we have looked at road improvements to eliminate that S-curve, and you can see as Jonathan has drawn this up, it would be in the orange. That would be the phase 2 of this, which would eliminate the S-curve, which would again improve access to this property, improve access for United Pipe 2, and more land at the East Side Park for development. So what we wanted to do tonight, we're looking at a $4 million project. We will be asking the state for $2 million from Ready, and we will be asking the Redevelopment Commission for $2 million, although we believe that what we can do to break that up is to ask for $1 million in later 25 and $1 million in 26, which I think will certainly help your finances in terms of other road projects. So again, we're just now in the process of putting this together, and we'll be back in February with a more formal request, but we just wanted to introduce that to you tonight.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Jim before he? Okay, we'll look forward to hearing more next month.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask the commission about where we stand on the quality of life grants. You know, it's the, we'd kind of waited on that while we were figuring out our finances. So I was just wondering, do we want to keep that tabled for right now? Do we want to go ahead and do a round, or just do one round, or do we just want to, where are we on that?
What was our timeline prior? I can't remember. What, we had it twice a year, but what was the months that we did it? Was it like January, July, or?
Yes.
Okay. So now is the time when we would normally have opened it up?
It would have already been opened up, and so we've gotten some questions from people, you know, asking about it, and I told them about what was going on, and asked them, you know, for their patience and understanding, which they graciously provided us. So I was just wondering, what do we want to wait for Mark to discuss it, or?
I think one more, I mean, it sounds like we're gonna get some answers, you know, further clarification on the, you know, what our overall budget looks like. I would prefer to wait until get that, to open it up at that point. But
That's also my preference, but I
Okay.
just wanted to ask, just to be sure.
Okay. And I don't think, since it's already tabled, we probably don't need to
No.
have a second motion or anything like that at this point.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Just hold on until we get some more information, especially with our increase to Main Street.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, any other miscellaneous business? Not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
We'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.